What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our PGA DFS sleepers for the 2021 Zurich Classic. Before we look at those guys, our sleepers, let's look back at the RBC Heritage. Not a whole lot to report, but 5 of 6 of our sleepers made it through to the cut. You know, my 30% of Bryce Garnett did okay. I wish he finished a little bit stronger, but Craig, you went 6 of 6 with your picks last week. Your picks and sleepers all through to the cut. Chris Kirk, I think, is the best sleeper we got at a T7.
Yeah, Gim tried to make a run for it on Sunday there, but couldn't quite get it all the way through the 18 holes. I think it was a good but not great week. So, I mean, the sleepers were good. I think it was boosted by our discussion on the live show on Wednesday, where we talked. The one of mine, I think that it was the weakest, was Brendan Todd. And we talked through Todd and Streelman and Griot all at that same price point. And we sort of spoke, I think Todd is probably the safest cut maker of these, but Streelman and Griot both have, more upside. And we sort of saw that come through.
With Griot. As Griot can,
Yeah. And so I think that's it's all within the context, think through these things, think through what you're looking for in the plays, and come join us on Wednesday night where we talk through everything a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you don't miss our show. So subscribe to our channel, like our video, follow us on Twitter at Grandstand Golf. Craig, we have this weird, wacky Zurich Classic with team events. You're already flashing my picks. You're getting to my picks. We're going to give you two teams each, under 8K. Should we just dive into it?
Yeah, I would just say real quick, we chatted a little bit about how different of a DFS week this is going to be in our picks show. So if you haven't seen that one, go check that out. But let's just jump right into the sleepers here.
Yeah, and going into the sleepers, let's jump into it. Will Gordon, Michael Thompson are my first sleepers at 7,600 on DraftKings. They're 32nd. I'm finding it pretty difficult to dip into the 6K. So my sleepers are a little bit higher. My picks were a little bit lower. I think that balanced build is what I feel most comfortable with getting six teams through to the weekend. Palmer and Cantlay, their teams might go win it, but they might not as well. So I'm going to kind of build in that direction. That's where I'm leaning right now. So Will Gordon, Michael Thompson are kind of my favorite sleepers up top.
I love how you called them the Palmer and Cantlay. Like what, Xander and Rahm get no love?
That's the names that came to my mind.
I'm just surprised Rahm and Palmer and Rahm. I mean, Cantlay, Xander, you can go either way, but you kind of took the lesser on both of them, I think.
No, man, Palmer's the anchor there. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, what's their form coming in? So Will Gordon has made 6 of his last 7 cuts, and Michael Thompson has 4 straight made cuts. When we're in this area, I mean, you can look at the teams around here. That's pretty good. That's some pretty good cut-made consistency with these two. Their history at TPC Louisiana, Gordon has none. So we're just going to take that away. Michael Thompson's played here quite a bit. So he had 5 stroke play events. He made the cut in twice. And then he did play here on a team in 2017 and got 14th. So we get this interesting mix. Michael Thompson's been playing really good lately. Will Gordon, I feel like, is a little bit streakier. He's a bomber. So when you get these teams together with alternate shots, they get to pick if they're going off evens or odds. They can pick if they need to push it out on more par 5s or not. It's going to be interesting. I think it's a kind of a good pairing to bring together. They're not exactly a similar golfer, so they can match their strengths during certain. If they're really strategic with how they kind of play this tournament, I think they could be really good. So I think it's an interesting mix of safe and streaky. Yeah,
it'd be nice, I think, for them if they could just have Gordon, hit a lot more of their tee shots just in general, assuming he's hitting the ball well. But I do think. I think that these type of teams, like a Will Gordon, he's a guy you have to like in best ball because he typically he can give you a lot of low numbers and he just you can't have the mistakes, which in best ball that's less of an issue. But I do think that this team has some pretty good upside for 32nd.
Yeah, exactly.
My first one here, I'm going a similar price point. I'm going with Matthew NeSmith and Chase Seiffert. Seiffert, you guys correct me on this one.
I think it's Seiffert.
Chase Seiffert, 7,500, 33rd on DraftKings in pricing. And just to be clear, that's 33rd ranked team, if it's not already clear. So strokes gained total last 6 months. Both these guys, I think this is why they're good value. This is a good value team. Both these guys are solid. Neither of them are really expected to carry it. NeSmith gaining about a third of a stroke, 44th in the field, and Seiffert Seiffert.
Yeah.
Seiffert.
You got it.
He's getting about a quarter stroke and he's 50th in the field. So I do like the balance there. And then you look at him, I think both of them are coming in with pretty good form. So you look at NeSmith over his last 9 starts, 2 missed cuts, 3 top 25s, peaking with a 7th at the Waste Management. Seiffert, his last 8, we've got a single missed cut, 4 top 25, so he's really doing a good job getting up there, and then 4th at the Honda Classic. So to me, I think this team for 7,500 in a on a week like this, like we were talking about in our previous show, it's hard to find value and like any sort of safe value below average price. So I think a team like this that feels fairly safe, I think I'm going to lean on them fairly heavily. I don't know if that's going to be common, if there's going to be a lot of people doing that, but this team sort of stands out to me as one of the ones that's safer down at this price point.
Yeah, they stand out to me as well, and I think kind of the high mid 7s here might be a little bit popular because there's not going to be many teams under 8,000 where you can get 2 guys that are positive strokes in total over the past 6 months. There seems to be a weird mix of teams, and usually one person that's significantly lower. And 2 guys really that we've talked about on different. NeSmith was a sleeper of mine last week, and I think Seiffert's been kind of one of ours over the past year.
If not an actual sleeper, someone we bring up on the Wednesday show.
Yeah, exactly. So like kind of the upside there, and I think that floor with their strokes in total is pretty solid as well.
Yeah. Hopefully they get through to the weekend. That's all we need here.
I know it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be a harsh cut, and so
it's gonna be a very harsh cut. My second and final sleepers here, I'm not going too low. Like I said, I'm going Martin Laird, Nick Taylor, 7,300 on DraftKings. They're 35th ranked team. 2 guys, again, might be a little bit boring to kind of the general kind of golf fan, but I feel like just kind of sneaky good right now. Sneaky good. Laird coming in 4 straight made cuts. Nick Taylor has 7 made cuts in his last 11. That's kind of the full 2021 season that we have. Looking at their history here. So they do have quite a bit of history, which I do like for these teams. Both players aren't coming to the course without any course knowledge. So these guys have a ton of course knowledge. Laird has played here from 08 to 15. 4 events. He has 1 top 25, but he has missed a cut. But his team play has been especially good. He's 7th with Russell Knox. And in 2019, these 2 were together before. So in 2019, these 2 were a team together. They got 9th. So that's Nick good. Taylor and him were 9 together. So Nick Taylor, what has he done here? Individually, 15, 16, 48, 36. Not great, but making cuts. He missed a cut in 2017 and paired with Martin Laird, and they got a top 10 here. They got the 9th. So I like where kind of both their form is at, is kind of steady, kind of making cuts recently in the season. And then their history here with a top 10 together, I feel like you have those conversations about who's going to take on what hole off the tee. Kind of, you've played the course together. You have some familiarity. The group knows each other. The guys know each other. I just think it's a nice, solid play at 7,300.
Yeah, when I saw you had picked these guys, I didn't realize that they had played together last year in top 10, or last time they ran this in 2019.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that's a plus. There's so many things that you don't know about how you're going to work together as a team, especially in golf where playing as a team is such a rare thing. So to have success as a team together, I think that is a definite plus.
Yeah.
My last one here, speaking of people that we have zero idea about what's going to happen, I'm going Akshay, Bhatia, and Scott Piercy. They come in 6,900. 40th in pricing on DraftKings. So to me, we're talking about, you were saying that it's hard to find teams where there's 2 people above, strokes gained positive in the last 6 months. I'm just scraping that boundary. So Akshay is just positive at 0.03, 67th in the field, and Scott Piercy is 0.08, 60th in the field. But if you think about the 40th ranked team, 60th and 67th, like we're talking 80, there's 78 guys ranked above or on teams that are higher priced. So to me, that seems like good value in and of itself. Akshay, his last 6 starts, he only has 6 starts really on the PGA Tour this season because he's just playing on sponsors exemptions. And I think he might have Monday qualified, but regardless, the 6 starts, a little bit iffy, a little bit sketchy, 3 missed cuts, 3 made cuts. His top finish is a 9th at the Safeway back in the fall. Scott Piercy's been a little bit steadier. He's got, in his last 12, he's got 2 missed cuts, 3 top 25s and a tie for 14th at Bermuda. I think it's a little interesting, though, because Scott Piercy is the vet. I mean, it's an interesting combination for a lot of reasons, but just from a golf point of view, Scott Piercy's the vet. He's got 12 starts and only 2 missed cuts, but Akshay actually has a higher finish in his 3 made cuts. So I think this is going to be one of these groups that, potentially Akshay is one of these guys who can go out there and put up a lot of numbers, but then he oftentimes he doesn't have sort of the clean game of a seasoned pro. So if Scott Piercy can help give him that floor, especially on the best ball days, and then they can really ride when Akshay gets hot and he goes up there and puts up birdies or eagles. He doesn't have to worry about the bogeys he might make along the way. And that's where I think this team has a lot of potential value. Maybe I like them more, similar to some of the teams we were talking about in our picks video. I maybe like them more on the best ball days than on the alternate shot days. But yeah, I think they have upside for a team at 6,900.
And actually, the last couple of times out, we've seen him just kind of go crazy on Thursdays too, which you'd like to get to the weekend at the very least. I mean, he was setting greens and regulation records at Pebble. Then there's that other tournament. I'm trying to think, was it Honda, where he went like 4 under and was leading on Thursday, and then ultimately fell back and missed the cut.
Well, that's what I mean. He's one of these guys that usually moves a lot on leaderboards. So if he can move up without having to have those moves back down, then I think he could be well poised here.
So you shocked all Grandstand Golf followers when you didn't pick Sutton Gim, which is shocking, but you did manage to fit in one of your boys here with Bhatia.
Yeah, I didn't want people to think I was going too crazy this week.
This is an interesting pairing. I think it might be kind of the most comfort for people in the 6K, so they might get some ownership there.
Yeah.
But it is a completely different week. It's going to be hard to tell ownership, especially since you can pick 2 different guys and you don't know what the ownership's really going to be like, because
that's true.
Scott could be 10% and actually going to be 20, but then 30. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird. But with that, make sure to join us on Wednesday night when we try to unpack all this weirdness, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you don't miss that. Set that in your calendar, whatever you like to say.
I just have fun with it this week, I would say. That's my biggest takeaway, is that it's one of these ones where we like to get deep into the analytics and the numbers and everything, but this is one of these weeks where people auto-making lineups are going to have a very hard time of it. So it's similar to the match play. Just make lineups by hand, make them, enjoy making them, have fun with it, and it's going to be a crazy week of golf.
That's perfect, Craig. Have fun with it. Just enjoy it, because I think that's what the golfers are going to do. I mean, it's just an enjoyable kind of tournament to watch and format to watch.
Yeah.
But with that, make sure to let us know your favorite play, your favorite team under 8K on DraftKings. Leave them in the comments below. We'll show you out if you can beat our picks here.
Yeah. Take care, guys. See you next time.